So, I give you Andrew Fisher, the man responsible for the best fed cows in the world.
Morning, I'll try and get through this a bit quickly so that we can move on. My name's Andrew Fisher. I am the owner, general manager, person who shuts the door at the end of the night for EcoStock. This presentation is about EcoStock and the whole process. As mentioned before, we won the Green Ribbon Award in June last year, and first of all we took out the Small Business Making a Difference, and then the Supreme Award winner. Since June, business has increased significantly and is growing even now. This presentation I'm going to go through what we do, systems and technology that we employ, our product as a supplementary stock feed, the process, benefits on farm and benefits off farm, the future, I'll keep it short, in the next 3 to 5 years, and call to action and what you can do as well. What we do, we work in the pre-consumer food waste. That's pretty much everything up to the supermarket. We don't deal in post-consumer or restaurant waste. We're dealing in a category which is food manufacturers, growers, retailers, packaged goods. The post-consumer food waste, why we don't go into it, obviously it's been past people's mouths, it could have contamination and we can't control it. We work within the boundaries of New Zealand Food Safety Program and go from there. We operate across all of New Zealand now. We are based in Auckland, but we recover daily from as far south as Dunedin. And our tonnage is around about 809 tonne a day, which is 3 to 4 truck and trailer loads going out of our site per day, 7 days a week. Our website, www.ecostock, to give you a bit more idea of what we do. So it's a three-sided business. We have surplus food. We target the food manufacturers, the logistics operators, and we get it into our site at EcoStock using bins, various different models of collection, competing both with the conventional pig farmer, but generally we're working to compete with the landfill operators because the volumes are so significant and the times of day are so difficult. Finally, we work on the nutritional side with a closed group of farmers, about 14 very big dairy enterprises, to put stock feed out into the Upper Waikato and Lower Northland regions. I run a fleet of trucks. This is 6 of them. There's 12 of them on the road. And give you an idea, I've got 42 staff, and we have sort of weekly turnover of just over about $120,000. It's a big business. It's 5 years ago, there was just myself and 2 others, and we just keep sort of pushing at the waste that's going into landfill. As I said, up there you've got curtain siders, compactor trucks, tanker trucks with vacuum loading, the hook trucks. I keep them white, and as they are, so no one knows what we're doing. It becomes potentially embarrassing for some manufacturers that we're the only trucks going in and out all day long. The downside to this business is we are 24 hours, 7 days a week, and we've got to be there. Otherwise it goes to landfill, and the clients don't have the time of day to, muck around. They want the service and they want it now. Systems and technology. Okay, on the collection side of the house, I've got about $1.6 million worth of bins out there collecting, and they turn over pretty much within 24 hours. We've got an 0800 call centre, which is pretty much manned 24/7. All the trucks are on GPS, and we run an electronic reporting system called EcoTrack, which goes back into our companies so they understand where it's, what we're taking off every day. They can monitor their commodities or raw materials, and it gives them a good understanding. Likewise, we do the same thing to the farmers. Within our business, we've got the depacking and sorting lines, as I said, 120 tonne per day, 4 truck and trailers going out. We've been very fortunate to receive some funding from the Ministry of $180,000, and we've just procured, or did last year in September, another automated depacking line, and that's sitting somewhere in the Panama Canal at the moment. And that arrives at the end of this month. It'll allow us to depack sugar sachets, and high-speed speed up our process on muesli bars, biscuits, potato chips, all those little things. We'll also be able to increase from 1 tonne an hour canned products to 12 tonne an hour canned products. We'll be able to do small drink bottles, but our tonnage rate will go to about 12 tonne an hour as opposed to where we are about 2 tonne. What that means is big food manufacturers who sit or have a reject export, we can get it back depacked and back on a farm within 72 hours. Recycling, big part of our business is also that obviously we depack. You've got the plastic wrappers, the foil wrappers, the cardboard, the tin, the glass, the wooden pallets. And that becomes a fair amount and a fair logistic effort trying to move that as well. We keep it separated and recycling that. So the process, the client authorises destruction, we do the collection, we have the package recovery, the food recovery, quality control, our systems are audited, and finally we produce a sustainable business. A competitive business, and I've got to foot it every day with the big waste companies and with the commodity prices of palm kernel, maize, etc. Our product lines, I divide them into 4 areas. We've got dry products, so it's biscuits, potato chips, cereals, confectionery and chocolate. We'll take muesli bars, Moro bars, Eskimos at the moment, and depack it, and it's into stock feed. The semi-dries, which we call buns, bread, pastries, doughs, cheeses. And then we go wet products. We call them wet because vegetables are 80% water, pumpkins, etc. And then finally we've got our liquid products, milk, cream, whey, syrups, concentrates, and that's how it starts. It looks like something different at the other end. That's an example of what our warehouse sort of can look like with all the packaged products coming in, and we have the ability to handle up to 400 tonne in one day inwards in pallets. So we get canned, carton, packaged, plastic bottles, cheeses, yogurts, ice cream, packaged goods, bread, biscuits, chips. We don't take meat. No meat, no chemicals. I do actually run a separate business that allows us to give a one-stop shop service, but it's both geographically separated and different vehicles, etc. That's purely because meat, mad cows disease, etc., etc. What I've done is I go back to England once a year. My wife's family's from there, and I go around and look at European best practice, American best practice, and try and make sure I keep ahead with the standards they're employing, as opposed to just our standards here. There's incidents and accidents overseas, and making sure that my systems are always competing with those systems overseas. It's a small world, and I think as an agricultural country, we compete on the international market, therefore that's the benchmark. The stock feed process. So it starts in our yard like that, taken away into big bunkers, and this is inside our yard at the moment. There is white potato starch. We've put decanters and separators in some factories at a cost of about $200,000 for myself, but that stops 6 tonne a week of that going down the drain and into water care. One of our loaders here, loading into the truck, comes out to the farm and into the cows. Another shot of the trucks loading up. So we're real, and we're doing commercial volumes, and we have to compete with the big boys. Just another way of showing what we do. These are examples of the trucks that come into our site. Go out, put them into the bunker complexes on the farms. You may have maize silage, grass silage, even palm kernel, distiller's grains. Goes into a mixing wagon. We have a diet, a nutritionist come up with a diet, put in maybe a 20 kg bag of trace elements. Off the side of this is also a molasses tank, or we put syrups and concentrates, mix it up. Our analogy, 2 dry wheat bix or 4 wet wheat bix, and feed out into the cows, and you've got production increases. So off farm, we guarantee our manufacturers 100% clearance. One of our manufacturers we started 3 years ago sent 1,000 tonne a year to landfill. This year, this confirmed they had 120 tonne go to landfill. Prior to us coming on, they had farmers taking the product. but our service levels have nearly dropped their, have saved them close to $250,000 a year, and obviously diverted nearly, 850 tonne away from landfill. That's just one site. We service 240 sites. Obviously, packaged, tin, bottled and bulk product, I also take off their sites as a commodity and give them rates on that. 24-hour, 7-day support. Obviously, last year we had the gas pipeline breakdown, which hit every food manufacturer in Auckland. We've had power surges, and then the earthquake February 22nd last year in Christchurch ramped up the production of every food manufacturer in Auckland to the point where they were making as much as they were wasting at times. Reporting, and we also have staff now based at the manufacturers' sites, ensuring that we get that 100% clearance. On farm, we try and work with farmers. As opposed to being a 100% solution, we aim to be about 5%. We're not out there to change a practice overnight. We're trying to get buy-in and work with our farmers over a long time and try to encourage sustainability. End of the day, they're a commercial enterprise as well and got to pay their bills. One way it's waste, the other way it's surplus. Obviously with surplus, you've got to buy a fridge, Tupperware, but then you're exposed to food poisoning, theft, and so therefore most people turn to the other option. Just put it in the bin, easy, convenient. I step into that space where I'm trying to make it surplus, and it's hard work sometimes. But it's making it surplus and getting it back out into the country and making a dollar. It's a website again, goes through everything we do, both on the inwards leg and the outwards leg, our products. I've made mention there of the Green Ribbon Awards, the exposure I've got from it, both obviously coming here today, thank you, to on TV. It's helped obviously when you're working with the big food manufacturers, they're reporting back to overseas countries. It's been good leverage there, and I think it's put the awards in a different bracket as such, and it's real, and it's actually what New Zealand is about. And I know for myself, it's helped me with companies, based especially in Australia and America, that we're recognised and giving some value. Innovation is job creation. I started, 5 years ago with 2 staff, 42 staff today, plus I employ 12 contractors full-time.